happens to hair when you don't dry it and you just go to sleep? It's like crazy looking. I don't even know how to make this something at this point. I might have to just wet it down and hope for the best. Anyway, hi. Oh, okay. Here's something positive. So I have this woman that I've followed now for years and years and years. 6 years maybe, or something like that. On YouTube and then on Instagram. And she is a mom of 2 disabled children and a able child. I hate the word disabled. 2 special needs child. And all children have special needs, don't they? But there's a better way of putting it. Anyway, she's mom to 2 girls and a boy. Both girls had a specific genetic condition. And both girls, within a year, passed away. I loved her ability to kind of grasp and celebrate their girls' differences. The family is very unique in that they like are funny about it and stuff like that. Anyway, but I can't imagine. This mom was like probably one of the better moms that I've seen on the internet. Anyway, and of course you don't get to see everything, but you can get a really good feel, you know. So I, as you all know that follow me, I have this kind of background in, you know, going to see people who have passed and, you know, making it a priority to find out those pathways so that when I pass over, I don't get lost, you know, because there's so many places to go, really. And I also believe there's places like, I don't know all the places, but I also believe there's places to like move on right away, because there are some people that I couldn't find and never came to me, and like my father. And I always felt, I saw my father right after he passed away. And it was a out of body, and me and Becky, who you've seen on this, the little Native American girl, she's like tiny. That's not little. She's just a really short statured child person. So anyway, her and I in this out of body kind of met up where my father used to work at 30th Street Station in Philadelphia. And he was getting on an elevator. I don't even know if they have elevators there. I know they have escalators, but I can't remember, and I haven't been there in a long time. Anyway, so he was getting on an elevator, and I went up to him, and I was like, Daddy, Daddy, it's me. And the only thing I can tell you is when I saw Jeff in the room, in the cabin, he was in a certain state. And when I say that, like, he couldn't look directly at me for long. He was very much like I felt like he was a balloon just trying to get loose to rise up. My dad was similar in that the last time I saw my father, and he's in an elevator, and my girlfriend Becky and I walk up to him, and I say, Daddy, there's other people in the elevator. It's where he worked for most of his life. So I say, Daddy, Daddy. And I said, Daddy, Daddy, it's me. And he is looking up, and just like Jeff was, like holding on for dear life to the chair, to almost like if I had let the chair go, or if I had let my father go, they would have just rose up into the heavens. Both of them kept looking up, like away from me and up. So anyway, with my father, I tried to get him to recognize me, and for a second he does. And then he says, no, I have to go. I tried to get him out of the elevator. He wouldn't come. He's like, I have to go. And Becky was next to me going, it's okay, come on, it's okay. Because we knew they weren't, whoever they, that the elevator wasn't going to go anywhere unless we got out of it. Like both Becky and I knew that instinctively. Becky just has no memory of this. So anyway, long story short, yeah, so I was talking to this mom, and you don't know how far to go because you don't want anybody to think you're the nut. You know what I mean? Like, oh, great, this lady's going to think I'm a fucking nut. She doesn't know anything about me or what I do or any of that, because she doesn't. I don't think she follows me. Why would she follow me? But I have followed her because of her relationship with these children. And when I tell you it's magical, it is. But they're past now. And she'll put stuff on her Instagram that's like very uplifting, but about how much she misses her girls. And I so want to tell her, I've been wanting to tell her that, like, there's no death and you're going to see these kids again, like, soon. Like, to them, it's like this, and you're back, you're with them. Time is not the same. Like, I want to tell her everything, but I can't because formality and familiar and being too familiar is a thing, you know? It's definitely a thing. Who the fuck am I? I don't know their family But I remembered that she had like kind of an out-of-body experience with the youngest of the two girls when they were still alive. And I hate alive and dead. When they were still on this side of the veil. How's that? And basically her youngest daughter like kind of let her know that that she would kind of be healed on the other end. They had limited movement here where, you know, when I had my experience, and if you want me to go through that real quick, when I was, my father died in July about 15 years ago. My father passed away. I hated God, hated him. Why would you take the one person in my mind that like kind of had my back? And obviously my mom has my back too. I don't mean it that way, but I'm a terrible person when it comes to like saying I need help. I am way too proud. It's a problem. Long story short, she had this, like, she called it a dream, but explained it to be much more real and this and that. So I'm thinking she's out of body. And so is her daughter, her youngest daughter. And this is right before they both passed. So she said she has this dream and that this child is walking and this whole thing. And I'm like, of course you did, because she's like trying to give you that message. But you can't say that, like, because people that don't believe will be like, oh, the nut's on there. Let's get her out. Because they don't. It's so funny because to me, and I don't know if this woman's Christian or what she is, truthfully, but Christians will believe the most magical shit that comes out of that book is like amazing. Walking on water, wine, blah, 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 all the things. But I try to say something like, there really isn't like death the way we look at it on this side, because you kind of have to have faith in what you're doing, because there is no like definitive. It's not like I have the big secret and nobody else has it. That's not what it is. What it's like is, like, once you experience this, you realize that it's real. It's not like, and then once you start getting into it and reading about it and like seeing other people's experiences, and I love to double check my experience against other people that astral project and do all this stuff, because like, just like something simple, my mom, she says to me, I don't believe in any of that shit, right? But yet she's had these individual experiences that are very profound to her, but she just says, I don't know what the hell they are. Like, my mom's so fucking stubborn about shit. So anyway, long story short, last night I saw her post something about how love is what's left behind once the body passes. And I was like, yeah, but so is consciousness and intention and want, desire, like all these things that I know are still there because you are not your brain. Like, you're not your brain. And you know how you can know you're not your brain? Because you can trick your own brain into thinking something. So who's tricking? If you're your brain and you're like, I'm going to trick my brain into believing X, Y, or Z, you know you're tricking them. You know you're tricking your brain. Who's you? You're not your brain, guys. You are the it behind your brain. Your brain is your tower, and your intentions and whatnot are you at the keyboard. But you are the you at the keyboard. With or without a brain. Your brain is just like, you give it functions to do. So anyway, last night, I might have, I don't want to scare her off because I would really be sad if anything I said, hurt her. So I said something vague as always, and she called me out. She was like, I'm confused. I don't understand what you mean. So I just went into it. My father passed away in July, and in October, I had an operation, and I got an E. coli infection. It went septic. Had 105 fever. I died on the table twice. Well, my heart stopped. I don't like saying died because I don't know what they got me back every time. But my heart stopped on the table twice, where everybody went batshit crazy. Did I float to the ceiling and see them? No. What happened was I was on a path. I instantly, boom, it was like I was sleepwalking and woke up. Now I'm on this path. This path is going down into the woods. I can see light like this through the trees, but I can't see the sun or where I am. I'm clueless. So I start walking down. I realize, oh my God, I feel so good here. I don't have a fever. I was in so much pain. I don't have any pain. I don't feel so horribly, ridiculously sick, because I did. So I'm like, I want to stay here. I'm not worried about my children. I had them all three. 2 were still in school. I wasn't worried. I wasn't sad. I wasn't scared. I was determined. I want to be here, not there. There was behind me. Had I turned around to look to see what was going on behind me, would I have seen the OR? Maybe. I died on the table, but I was not put under yet. I died when they laid me down, long story. But once they laid me flat, boom, gone. Pick me up, come back, lay me flat, boom, gone a second time. And then realizing what they were doing, they rolled towels, lined the back of me so that I would not lay flat. And then they put me under and operated. That all being said, the first time I go under, I'm on this path. I start walking. I look down. I have on a shirt I wore in the 70s. I'm way thinner, like before I had kids. I have super long blonde hair like I did way back. So I'm like, what is going on? I feel great. I'm doing this with my hair because I was so fevered that I was like, wow, I am instantly healed. So I go down, 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 down. The only thing on my mind, my father died in July, was I'm going to meet Daddy. So as I'm walking down, I see this pond, a huge pond, big pond, but across the pond was a path going into the woods. And I'm on this side of the pond coming down the path. there's a rock. I sit down. I just sit down and say, okay, you have to wait here for Daddy. I have no idea why I thought that, what was going on. Like a big rubber band around my waist. All of a sudden it was like, and I almost, if there was a noise to it, it would have gone, boo. And I backwards kind of was pulled, like I had no weight, and I was like this, pulled back into the OR, opened my eyes, everybody's going insane. There's people everywhere. Like, it's just this crazy moment. And somehow they had me up a little bit. And the minute they rolled me back, gone again. Like, no conscience, like none of that. So the minute that happened, I'm back. I'm telling you the abridged version. I'm back on the path where I was before. Only now I realize they're trying to keep me. I don't know, I guess doctors, whatever. I didn't have that much thought in it. Just somebody was trying to keep me there, and I wanted to be here where I didn't hurt or this or that. And I wanted my daddy, because I was very self-destructive after my father died from July until this happened. I was horribly self-destructive. So anyway, I realized somebody wants me the other way, so I start to run, because I'm going to run to the pond now. So I run down to the pond, and right before I get to the place where I can see the water, the rubber band happens again. I was like, damn it. And it was like, boom, and I'm back in the OR. I'm looking around. I'm like totally confused. I am so sick. Fever blazing, like ridiculously sick. And a nurse like looked upside down at me. She went over me like this, and she said, night, night. And I was like, huh? Boom, out. I was 13 days in the hospital. This was so clear in my mind what had happened. That's all I could think of the whole time. I'd like go over and over it. And Jeff was there, and he said that I was talking to Daddy, like he was in the room a bunch, like I was delirious. But I wasn't delirious on that path. I wasn't even delirious in the OR, by the way. When I first got to the hospital, I was sick. Awful sick. Like, they rushed me from x-ray into the OR because I was dying. Anyway, long story short, after that, when I got out of the hospital and all that, I told Jeff what had happened. And I said, I think I was supposed to know about this. Like, I felt like this was a sign, you know? And I wasn't upset or hurt. Or so much of me being upset about my father dying was he afraid? Was he looking for me? Was he alone? None of that. Let me tell you what, none of that happened. When I crossed over, I wasn't alone. I was absolutely in control. I was happy, content, peaceful. I wasn't sad. I didn't think about my kids, nothing. So anyway, with this woman, I wanted to convey that to her, that because I always think, like, if she thinks her kids are like looking for her or scared or sad or lonely, none of that. There are people, entities that will take care of them. Because since that time, I then started looking up how to do OBEs, and I started working with Monroe Institute, and I started buying things and doing things, learning about chakras, reading books. And so now I can travel and go see people on the other side. And I've seen my boyfriend successfully so many times. And because at first it was so difficult for him to come to me, I think it gets better over time because now he comes to me fairly easily. But I don't know, easier. And I can go see what he's up to. And it's just like so freeing to know, for me, to know that he's happy, that he's taking all these adventures or doing this or that, whatever it is. And I just wanted to convey that to this woman. I think I'm going to tag her in this video and just see if she'll watch this video. Because the truth is, there is no death, guys. Nobody dies and is gone. That is not what happens. The you that is you is whole. It doesn't dissipate. It doesn't go, it doesn't. I have gone and seen people in my family that died like a long time ago, and they're still around, they're still whole, they're still, you know what I mean? You do come out to be kind of like the best visual in your mind version of yourself, but I've also seen people play with that, with like making themselves all light and stuff like that. So I just wanted her to know that I don't know why I have always felt a connection to these children, these two girls, and her, and that string goes much farther than what you think, like when you're connected to people. And I just felt like it was something she needed to hear. And so I told her, and I haven't gotten an answer back, but I hope she understands that I'm not, I don't want anything. I'm not trying her. She never has to answer me back. I just want her to know that they're together, they're fine, they're going to go on little adventures, and like this, you'll be with them. Even though it's your life here, over there, it goes by very quickly. So, all right, I love you guys. I got to go. Bye. Remember, we go on and on. Bye.